Good morning, class. So remain stand up and let us pray before we go to our discussion. Moira, can you lead the prayer? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. So class, let's all be seated. So now, before we go to our discussion, Ms. Secretary, is there an absent for today? Good. So let's proceed. So class, why is it important to have a fit and healthy body? Anyone? Just raise your hand if you want to answer. Yes, Natasha. Very good. Another answer. Yes, honey. Oh, that's nice. Very good, very good. Last one. Yes, Eli. Okay. So your all answers are correct. So very good. So class, let's have some review about our lesson last week. If you still remember our last discussion. Okay. Again, just raise your hand if you want to answer. So, what is recreation? Anyone? Anyone to answer? Yes, Rick Josh. Okay, good, good, good. Another one, another answer. Yes, Joshua. Okay, very good. Last one, another one. Yes, Ronnie. Okay. Very good. So class, give me an example of indoor recreational activities. Anyone? Yes, Ina. Okay, good. Another one? Yes, Lawrence. Okay, good. So very good. All your answers are correct. So now, I will present to you some example pictures of outdoor recreational activities. Okay? So here are the examples. So this is the first one. Next. And the last one. So class, what can you notice about those pictures? Anyone who would like to answer? Yes, Mary Joy. Correct. Very good. So now, I will discuss about the environmental ethics and principles of recreational outdoor activities. So before going to the discussion, I have here some videos and let's watch it together. Okay? So let's begin.
Environmental ethics is the part of environmental philosophy which considers extending the traditional boundaries of ethics from solely including humans to including the non-human world. It exerts influence on a large range of disciplines including environmental law, environmental sociology, ecotheology, ecological economics, ecology and environmental geography. There are many ethical decisions that human beings make with respect to the environment. For example, should humans continue to clear-cut forests for the sake of human consumption? Why should humans continue to propagate its species, and life itself? Should humans continue to make gasoline-powered vehicles? What environmental obligations do humans need to keep for future generations? Is it right for humans to knowingly cause the extinction of a species for the convenience of humanity? How should humans best use and conserve the space environment to secure and expand life? The academic field of environmental ethics grew up in response to the work of scientists such as Rachel Carson and events such as the first Earth Day in 1970, when environmentalists started urging philosophers to consider the philosophical aspects of environmental problems. Two papers published in Science had a crucial impact. Lynn White's The Historical Roots of Our Ecological Crisis, March 1967, and Garrett Hardin's The Tragedy of the Commons, December 1968. Also influential was Garrett Hardin's later essay called Exploring New Ethics for Survival, as well as an essay by Aldo Leopold in his Some County Almanac, called The Land Ethic, in which Leopold explicitly claimed that the roots of the ecological crisis were philosophical. 1949. The first international academic journals in this field emerged from North America in the late 1970s and early 1980s, the US-based journal Environmental Ethics in 1979 and the Canadian-based journal The Trumpeter, Journal of Ecosophy in 1983. The first British-based journal of this kind, Environmental Values, was launched in 1992.
Hello, my name is Julia Liebers and I am a student at De Anza College in Cupertino, and today my presentation is on environmental ethics. Environmental ethics can be defined as a philosophy that studies humans and their moral relationship between the biotic and abiotic aspects of the environment. Environmental ethics really started to develop in the 1960s and 70s. This was because of an increasing awareness of industrial growth, economic growth, and population growth, and the effect it's had on the environment. When environmental ethics emerged as a new philosophy, it challenged traditional views. It questioned the assumed moral superiority of human beings to members of other species on Earth. It also investigated the possibility of assigning value to the natural environment and its non-human components. Standard policy approaches today consider two pressing global environmental problems: climate change and biodiversity loss. Two factors that play into contrasting beliefs of environmental ethics are intrinsic value and instrumental value. Intrinsic value is the value that an entity has in itself, for what it is or as an end. When you think of intrinsic value, think of the sentimental value it brings, like friendship or love. Many people value species and ecosystems intrinsically, for their complexity, diversity, spiritual significance, wildness, beauty, or wondrousness. Instrumental value is the value that something has as a means to a desired or valued end. Instrumental value is always derivative on the value of something else, and it is always conditional. A good example of something that would have intrinsic value would be money. Money physically is just a piece of paper, but when you add instrumental value to it, it becomes a major social and economic tool. The three main types of ethics we see today are anthropocentrism, biocentrism, and ecocentrism. Anthropocentrism is the view that only human interest needs to be taken into account. Many traditional Western ethical perspectives are anthropocentric and assign a significantly greater amount of intrinsic value to human beings than any non-human beings. They justify the protection of human interests and well-being at the expense of non-human things. Biocentrism is the ethical perspective that all living organisms should be considered as equals. Critics highlight that strictly biocentric ethics will conflict with a more ecological influenced environment. Protecting individual lives may lead to harm rather than protecting the integrity of ecosystems. The evidence given by critics is that there is a need to remove invasive species for ecosystem health. It is, of course, always open for the biocentric approach to accept the conflict by simply denying the value of ecological wholes and shifting the focus of biocentrism to have only incidentally overlapping concerns with environmental ethics. The last environmental ethic is ecocentrism. Ecocentrism is the understanding that ecological groups such as ecosystems, habitats, species, and populations are all part of an environmental concern. This approach determines that preserving the integrity of the ecosystems and the survival of species and populations is environmentally more crucial than protecting the lives of individual elements of an ecosystem or members of a species. Ecocentric environmental ethics often would overlook destroying the lives of individuals as a legitimate means of preserving ecology as a whole. So members of an overpopulated herd or killing an invasive non-native plant or animal species can be justified. There has always been a large debate discussing what is legal and ethical in regard to politics and the environment. The emergence of philosophies to underpin animal rights activism and the puzzles over whether an environmental ethic would be something new rather than a modification or extension of existing ethical theories were reflected in wider social and political movements. The rise of environmental or green parties in Europe in the 1980s was accompanied by almost immediate clash between groups known as the realists versus fundamentalists. The realists stood for reform environmentalism, working with businesses and government to soften the impact of pollution and resource depletion, especially on fragile ecosystems or endangered species. The fundamentalists argued for radical change, the setting of stringent new priorities, and even the overthrow of capitalism and liberal individualism, which were taken as the major ideological causes of anthropogenic environmental devastation. Deep ecology is a somewhat recent branch of ecological philosophy that considers humankind as an integral part of its environment. The philosophy emphasizes the interdependent value of human and non-human life, as well as the importance of the ecosystem and natural processes it provides. It provides a foundation for the environmental and green movements and has led to a new system of environmental ethics. In 1960s, having read Rachel Carson's book Silent Spring, Arne Naess was moved to apply his formidable philosophical skills to understanding the ecological crisis and its resolution. Since becoming the youngest ever professor of philosophy at the University of Oslo while still in his 20s, Naess has revealed his brilliance by studying and writing extensively in many fields, including semantics, philosophy of science, and the works of Spinoza and Gandhi. His approach to ecology bears the stamp of his life's experience as a philosopher in the truest sense, and it shows in his role in the development of deep ecology and the coining of the phrase. The Deep Ecology Platform. Naess and George Sessions both developed 8 guidelines to practicing deep ecology, and they are called the Deep Ecology Platform. The well-being and flourishing of human and non-human life on Earth have value in themselves. These values are independent of usefulness of the non-human world for human purposes. Richness and diversity of life forms contribute to the realization of these values and are also values in themselves. Humans have no right to reduce this richness and diversity except to satisfy vital needs. Present human interference with the non-human world is excessive and the situation is rapidly worsening. The flourishing of human life and culture is compatible with the substantial decrease of the human population. The flourishing of non-human life requires such a decrease. Policies must therefore be changed. The changes in policies affect basic economic, technologic, and ideologic structures. The resulting state of affairs will be deeply different from the present. The ideologic change is mainly that of appreciating life quality, rather than adhering to an increasing higher standard of living. There will be a profound awareness of the difference between big and great. Those who subscribe to the foregoing points have an obligation directly or indirectly to participate in the attempt to implement the necessary changes. Deep experience is often what gets a person started along a deep ecological path. Another founder of deep ecology is Aldo Leopold. In his book, A Sand County Almanac, he provides a striking example of how experience can bring forth important life-changing realizations. For Leopold, the experience was of a sufficiently intensity to trigger a total reorientation in his life's work as a wildlife manager and ecologist. In the 1920s, he had been appointed by the U.S. government to develop a rational scientific policy for eradicating the wolf from the entire United States. The justification for this intervention was that wolves compete with sport hunters for deer, so that fewer wolves would mean more deer for hunters. As a wildlife manager of those times, Leopold still held to the unquestioning belief that humans were superior to the rest of nature and were thus morally justified in manipulating it as much as was required to maximize human welfare. One morning, Leopold was out with some friends on a walk in the mountains. Being hunters, they carried their rifles with them, in case they got a chance to kill some wolves. It got to around lunchtime, and they sat down on a cliff overlooking a turbulent river. Soon they saw what appeared to be some deer fording at the torrent, but they soon realized that it was a pack of wolves. They took up their rifles and began to shoot excitedly into the pack, but with little accuracy. Eventually, an old wolf was down by the side of the river, and Leopold rushed down to gloat at her death. What met him was a fierce green fire dying in the wolf's eyes. He writes in a chapter entitled Thinking Like a Mountain that there was something new to me in those eyes, something known only to her and to the mountain. I thought because fewer wolves meant more deer that no wolves would mean hunter's paradise. But after seeing the green fire die, I sensed that neither the wolf nor the mountain agreed with such a view. This compelling story really paints a picture of how Leopold was influenced by this experience and how it changed his mind about the environment and our ethical obligations as humans. Some food for thought. Do we as humans deserve to be at the top of the food chain? Do all living things and non-living things have a role as equals? Or should we all coexist naturally to preserve the environment? The choice is yours to make. Thank you for watching.
Health-related fitness is important for anyone who wants to live a physically active lifestyle to support a higher quality of life in this pandemic. So might as well engage yourself with some recreational activities as we welcome another semester. Hello, my name is William Resmaranara from the Bunturan National Comprehensive High School. I am your teacher in health optimizing physical education for recreational activities. Health-related fitness is all about psychology, personal health, and how activity influences us as a person. This is important for anyone who wants to live a physically active lifestyle to support a higher quality of life. While fitness is a condition in which an individual has enough energy to avoid fatigue and enjoy life. Try to look back and reflect on your day's activity. Do you have lots of energy? Or do you get tired easily? Today's episode is designed for you as a grade 12 student to explore knowledge and skills that will help you develop a lifelong habit of physical fitness and wellness. Our lesson is based from the most essential learning competency, which is self-assesses health-related fitness status, barriers to physical activity, assessment participation, and one's diet. And today, you are going to discuss what is recreational activity and some health-related fitness components. Undergo different physical fitness tests to determine the level of fitness in terms of muscular strength, muscular endurance, and flexibility. Compute your body mass index. Value the importance of muscular endurance, muscular strength, flexibility, and body composition through HRF tests. Are you ready for our lesson today? Great! But before that, I want you to get paper and pen to write down all the important details that we are going to discuss in this episode. Let us begin. For you to understand the lesson, we will answer the following questionnaire. Your answer will help you evaluate the health-related fitness activities that you are currently engaging by answering the activity number 1, Quest for Fitness. Answer all questions by placing checks on the appropriate lines provided. Analyze the questions and answer truthfully. What is your overall physical activity level? Is it very active, moderately active, active, sedentary, or inactive? Outside of physical education class, are you engaging in a certain form of exercise? If yes, what is it? How will you rate your muscular strength or endurance level? Is it very strong, moderately strong, strong, or not very strong? What about your current cardiovascular fitness level? When you do cardiovascular activities like running, cycling, hiking, swimming, and others, what do you feel? Excellent, fair, good average, or very low? How do you rate your physical activity level? Is it advanced, intermediate, or beginner? Let us proceed to our activity number 2, which is barriers to physical activity. Listed are reasons that people give to describe why they do not get as much physical activity as they think they should. Please read each statement and indicate how likely you are to say each of the following by putting a check mark under your rating. How likely are you to say to number 1, I am so busy now. I just don't think I can have the time to include recreational activity between school schedule and my work at home. Is it very likely, somewhat likely, somewhat unlikely, or very unlikely. Number 2, none of my family members nor friends are engaged in regular recreational activity, so I don't have the chance to do it. Is it very likely, somewhat likely, somewhat unlikely, or very unlikely? Number 3, I'm just too tired after school to do any recreational activity. Is it very likely, somewhat likely, somewhat unlikely, or very unlikely? Number 4, I've been thinking about participating in a regular workout, but I just can't seem to get started. Is it very likely, somewhat likely, somewhat unlikely, or very unlikely? And number 5, I'm getting bigger and taller, so no need to do recreational activities. Is it very likely, somewhat likely, somewhat unlikely, or very unlikely? Now, analyze your answer. Enumerate your top 3 reasons for not engaging into regular physical or recreational activity. Devise or think a solution or alternative activities to counter these factors from hindering you into engaging in a fitness activity. Let's go further by doing recreational activity track and by reviewing what you learned from your junior high school PE class. Get your pen and your notebook. Imagine you are on a trek as part of your recreational activity. The left steps indicates the following tests, while the right steps indicates the health-related fitness components. I will give you 30 seconds to answer. Time is up. Now, let us check your answers. Muscular endurance, muscular strength, flexibility, flexibility, and body composition. Great! You still remember what you learned from your junior high school.
The Radyo Z Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
A while ago, I mentioned recreational. From the term recreation, is an activity done for an enjoyment when one is not working. Recreational means relating or denoting activity done for enjoyment during free time. It refers to the time spent in an activity one loves to engage in with intent to feel refreshed. Recreational activities help you to take a break from monotony and diversion from daily routine. It gives people the benefit a decisive change from the stereotypical lifestyle and involves an active participation in entertaining activities that a person is interested in. When a person is engaged in recreating activities that the or she likes, it would naturally give them enjoyment. Recreational activities provide source of joy and relaxation to one's mind and body. And now, let us discover components of health-related fitness. Let us take a closer look at the components of health-related, which are body composition. Body composition is the ratio of the body fat to lean body mass, including water, bones, muscles, and connective tissues. Having too many fat tissues is a risk factor. Cardiovascular endurance is the ability of the heart or cardio and circulatory system or vascular to supply oxygen to muscles for an extended period of time. Cardiovascular or cardiorespiratory or lungs fitness, usually the 1 kilometer run or some other type of continuous fitness activity, or the 12-minute run, cycling, step tests, and many others. It is used to assess cardiovascular fitness, while flexibility is the ability to move a body part through a full range of motion at the joint. The seat and reach is commonly used to determine flexibility. Muscular endurance refers to the ability of the muscle to work over an extended period of time without fatigue. Performing push-ups and sit-ups or crunches for 1 minute is commonly used in fitness testing muscular endurance. Muscular strength refers to the maximum of force a muscle can exert against an opposing force. Fitness testing usually consists of a one-time maximum lift using weights or bench press, leg press, and others. These health-related components focus on factors that promote optimum and prevent the onset of disease and problems associated with inactivity. Participating in a regular health-related fitness activity helps to control your weight, prevents diseases and illness, improves your mood, boosts energy, and promotes better sleep. Now that you know the different health-related components, let us now get to know ways on how to assess and keep ourselves fit and healthy. The first one is getting your body mass index or BMI. For this, you will need the following: a weighing scale, a tape measure, and basic math skills. Measure weight in kilograms, your height in meters, and compute for your BMI using this formula. BMI equals measure weight in kilograms over height in meters squared. Second is the zipper test. Its purpose is to test the flexibility of the shoulder girdle. For this, stand straight, raise the right arm, bend your elbow, and reach down across your back as far as possible. Extend your left arm down and behind your back. Bend your elbow up across your back and try to reach or cross your fingers over those of your right hand, as if to pull a zipper or stretch between the shoulder blades. To test the left shoulder, repeat procedures A and B, with the left hand over the left shoulder. Have your sibling or anyone with you observe whether the fingers touch or overlap each other. If not, measure the gap between the middle fingers of both hands. Record the distance in centimeter. Use the guide as scoring. To test your cardiovascular endurance, we will use the 3-minute step test, also known as the Cooper test. Follow the instructions To determine your level of fitness in this area, you will need 12 inches high backs or stair step and stopwatch. How to do it? Have a household member to time you and count out your pace for 3 minutes during this test. When your family member tells you to begin, step up on the backs with your right foot, then bring your left foot up next to it. Step down with your right foot, then your left, to a pace that allows you to do 24 steps per minute. Your friend should keep you in place by saying up, up, down, down as you go. Step up and down on the backs for 3 consecutive minutes. When you are done, sit down and rest for 1 minute. When 1 minute is up, take your pause for 1 full minute. Next is push-up. In this test, you will perform as many push-ups as you can without resting. To do a push-up, lie on your stomach, place your palm next to your shoulders so that your arms make a 45-degree angle with your body. Make sure your toes are pointing straight into the ground, keeping your legs backside tight. Push your body up, making sure that your body stays in a straight line and your hips do not sag your stomach, should be pulled in and head relaxed and in line with your body. Do as many push-ups as possible while still using the correct form. Write down your total score. While muscular endurance involves the muscle in building a number of continuous movements, muscular endurance can be a specific muscle or muscle group such as the biceps, making continual contractions over a considerable period, perhaps over a number of minutes. The following are a number of everyday activities that require good muscular endurance, just like pump the well, gardening, cleaning your backyards, as all these activities involve a number of muscular contractions over a number of minutes. It would require a good intensity of muscular endurance. It's also vital for nearly all sports. There you have it. Now, you know your strengths and weaknesses. You may start improving. One of the best ways to stay fit and healthy is do physical activity because it requires the use of skeletal muscles that utilizes energy. You might have experienced that no matter how determined you exercise, you suddenly lose interest, and when an emergency comes up, you feel like you are not in the mood. In fact, many people come up with excuses to avoid exercise. My question to you is, do we get to engage in recreational activities these days? Because of the current situation, most of us are at home, and not so many of us have space to do recreational activities. Other reasons are barriers to recreational activity involvement, such as lack of time, social support, lack of energy, lack of motivation, fear of injury, lack of skill, high cost, lack of facilities, and weather conditions. Being physically fit also includes eating right. So, let's talk about food and our eating habits. Eating habits refers to why and how people eat, which food we eat, and with whom we eat with, as well as the ways people obtain, store, use, and discard food. There are also factors that influence eating habits. Influences to food choices are individual preferences, cultural influences, social influences, religious influences, economic influences, environmental influences, and political influences. How can we improve our eating habits? To improve our eating habits, it will require us to reflect, replace, and reinforce. Reflect on all of our specific eating habits, both bad and good, and your common figures for unhealthy eating. Replace. Replace your unhealthy eating habits with healthy ones. Reinforce. Reinforce your new healthy eating habits.
The Radyo Z Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Habits. And now, let us check on whether you learned about our topic today. In 30 seconds, get a piece of paper and a pen and answer our questions. Your time starts now. I hope you have your materials now. Let's begin. Question number 1. For 10 seconds. This is the activity done for enjoyment when one is not working. Time starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is recreational activities. Question number 2. In any order, for 20 seconds, name the 5 health-related fitness components. Time starts now. Time's up. The correct answers in any order are body composition, flexibility, cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance, muscular strength. For our final question, name the 3 ways of improving your eating habits. 20 seconds starts now. And the correct answers in any order are reflect, replace, reinforce. I hope that you got all the answers right. Recreational activity can be more enjoyable and beneficial for your health. You can make your recreational activities more exciting. This will allow you to keep your body fit while staying at home. Always remember, a healthy body makes a healthy mind. Join us as we engage different recreational activities. Not only engaging activities that await you, but also additional learnings toward achieving an active and healthy lifestyle. There you have it. I hope you have learned and enjoyed our lesson today. In our subject, Health Optimizing Physical Education for Recreational Activities. This is Sir Will, your Hope teacher. Goodbye.
Radyo's Eskwela Executive Committee. The school's division superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Sasu 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Elvicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian and Hara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Lee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
So those are the videos you have watched. So now, what can you notice about the videos presented a while ago? Anyone? Just raise your hand. Yes, Rufi. Correct. Ethics and principles are important because it is our responsibility to act good in the environment, especially when we are in the nature. And now, what can you say about the recreational activities? Who would like to answer? Yes? Correct. Another answer? Yes? Very good. Last one. Who would like to answer before we go to the next discussion? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, very good. So class, did you know that outdoor recreational activities have benefits? Okay. So outdoor recreational activities has 6 benefits. The first one is physical benefits. The second one, it is good for mental exercise. The third one is personality development. The fourth, improve your behavior. Fifth, better social skills. And last but not the least, increase your work productivity. So now class, can you give me an example of outdoor recreational activities except from the pictures that I have presented a while ago? So anyone who can give me? Yes. Correct. Another one. Another one. Raise your hand. Yes. Okay. Last one. Okay, yes. Okay, very good. All your answers are correct. So very good, class. So class, you have already an idea about the outdoor recreational activities and ethics. For your activity, um, I would like you to write an essay about the importance of recreational outdoor activities and environmental ethics. So, your essay is composed of 300 words and you'll do it for 20 minutes. Okay? Before that, get one whole sheet of paper or yellow paper, then your pencil or ball pen. Then after that, don't forget to write your name, your program and section, and the day to day. Okay? Are you guys ready? Okay. So your timer starts now. So class, time's up. Okay. Are all done with the activity? Okay, good. So now, pass your paper sideward, then forward to the center aisle. Now, so class, as what you have noticed and learned about our lesson for today, outdoor recreational activities have more benefits not only physically but also mentally. It is not only leisure with benefits but also a good time to waste with the environment and feel some fresh air to breathe with the help of beautiful nature. You can also learn on how to keep and give importance not only with the nature but also with the animals living there. Okay class, what can you say about our lesson we have? And the importance of environmental ethics and principle, especially outdoor recreational activities. Anyone? Yes, Mary Joy. Okay, very good. Overall, outdoor recreational activities gives more benefits as what I've said and you've said. It's not only for physical but also for mental. Lastly, the environmental ethics and principle was a very important for us to remember to preserve well-being. Um, so, class, do you have any questions before I end up this lesson? Any questions? None? Are you sure? Okay. So class, for your assignment, I want you to create a slogan about the importance of active recreational outdoor activities and a short essay about the environmental ethics and principles, the importance of that in our life. Okay? So, you'll pass that on our next meeting. Okay, class? Understood? Okay. So, if there's no any questions, goodbye class. Okay class, see you next meeting. God bless us all.